drainage actually costing Sierra Leone as a country. But the first one and the family. All responsible for planning and maintaining these systems here, we from they make we know they get them issue them year in, year out. And what it will take for fix the problem and not just for patch and temporarily. So for discussing things them here today, I get two main personalities them with me inside the studio. Now experts them in their young institutions them and them also actually the working institutions them we managed by the government. Well, they are governmental institutions them they are not managed by the government. And they are at the front line for flood response and urban disaster management. First, we get Mr. Mohammed Elba, one of the Director of Communication, now the National Disaster Management Agency. Mr. Ba, we go on later from Bulemadu and tell we small about the work with MDMA they do.
Thank you very much. Good evening. It's a pleasure for Dea once again. The National Disaster Management Agency, of course, plenty of people don't know that now an agency where government be established by an Act of Parliament 2020, and it was established and launched in 2020, November 19, and with a very broad mandate. A mandate for actually manage disaster-related matters across the country, and for also build the resilience of communities, and for them able for, for some communities we're able for adapt, we could devise adaptation measures for them, and for some others we actually see how we can able for relocate them. So primarily that is the mandate of NDMA for manage disaster-related matters across the country generally. And in managing that, there are a lot of components within it. That didn't say disaster management just one line, but there are a lot of components we hover around the disaster management circle. So try for effectively manage, you get for ensure say each of them component in the properly devise strategy around then component in the for make sure say you able for effectively deliver on the mandate. So over the years, even though the challenges are there, because since the institution came into being, we can meet plenty challenges. If we talk about urbanization just now, and if government or maybe city council together with NDME go say just now, then go with Ministry of Lands for implement proper urban planning. Now yeah. Most of the time, we people they talk say, hey, then people are day, for example, na Kube, then they na Susan's Bay. Why we only pull and day? Some can say then just they because of the benefits they get. No sanitary income, human rights organization they go there for give them something. But one fundamental thing we always need to forget for understand. Probably they don't know. If you read around relocation, for example, when you read around relocation, you come to the realization that for you relocate citizens, you can forget a very good relocation plan. And the first thing and first. One, because these are Sierra Leoneans and as well they deserve for leave. Equally so, they get human rights implications. They get security implications. The 2017 victims, the most life victims, 2017. When we get two philanthropists, them we be able to build 52 housing units for some of the victims in mile 6. It is only after we NDMA come into being we're able for source funding from AU, Africa Union, for all able to get for the toilet, water well. So all that period from 2017 to 2020, they were defecating in the bush. And these are human beings. And then picking and they walk miles for go school. No market, no nothing. Inside miles. In fact, the 2015 flood, I don't know if you remember. Now, stadium more than 3,000 to 4,000 people were affected. And they go bill for them and body them. Now, mile 6, the same about in the before. What's happened? Because the circumstances not being not favorable for human being for habit. You understand? Habitation not go for take place in the circumstances. Because now Pambodi we all things they go inside, snake they can't boss pan there, toilet no they know nothing. So they have to relocate. So when you talk about relocation, It's a top-bottom approach.
Sure.
We have to be very deliberate from top. Because now capital intensive then are the one part. Then the other part now that if you don't succeed for pull with all of these in place, that place is not for left found empty for too long. You get forget a plan, a business plan. Whether you get invested and for can invest in that place, so that they're not going for candy back. And then they not free city capital alone or NDB alone not go for do that. So people don't get to understand some of the intricacies that we hover around. All of them, easy assumptions and they when they make say then people want for pull and the care and go side. So for we jointly with Freetown City Council, what we don't do given this circumstance? Now for make sure say we devise adaptation. So people inside the day then go for adapting it for now. And minimize the impact of whatever vulnerability or hazard they're exposed to within that community. You understand? So they go for adapt. And if you look at from when we begin collaborating with Freetown City Council since 2020, incidents don't they happen. But because of them small interventions they are they take inside the communities, you find out say even if flooding happen, the impacts then they reduce massively. The whole of last year, we not record no deaths as a result of flooding. 2023. It was only in 2022, 2021 we record deaths for flooding, but whole of last year we record incident and even the damage to property be very minimal. Waiting at some of the strategies here, Freetown City Council and NDMA will always jointly implement activities. And one, we can get with flood mitigation strategy every year prior to the rains. We identify communities we don't know the challenges and we can cause some of them here. We target her. Sometimes we can even provide training for them. Like we go Culvert community last time. We train them say when I put stick in this part, this major drainage from Bombe where they can do. Anytime when I put three pieces in, one red, one yellow, and one green. The red they up, the green they middle, the yellow they down. So the water level they can to the green. When I for no sinner for begin pulling on things then for go find the one way when I able for move flame and not spoil. Say they go to the green, from the yellow to the green, when I for on the left. Because say you go to red now, the entrance and house all. They kill people there. So even if the houses then get destroyed or damaged, partially or completely, but at least we go for prevent life because the awareness on the at some point we can clear the drainages. Sure. At a very high cost. Because you know, imagine endemic, for example, features, I don't people get excavators there. And some of them there is an excavator no more, and you get for good take one to car, then front end loaders. Put the dirty all inside for good train. But all these happen because of, listen, we get two types of disasters. We get man-made and we get natural. And I will tell you, my brother there from Freetown City Council, that more than 90% of the incidents of the record as a result of na man-made disasters because of we inimical activities within the environment. Somebody go talk about enforcement, we don't need to try. The challenge is so much. For example, if you look at the capacity of NDMA and that of Freetown City Council, for example, you go find out say there's going to be always challenge because people are very deliberate with them here what they do. Quite recently, they inside Brookfields, you know what believe who's somebody go be on top waterway, the only major waterway in that area they where the water they pass. Now on top they go build, go broken. And the person may use stress remarks. Imagine how somebody can be so deliberate. So we always only talk to people every year. If everybody will drink water na plastic, get a civic obligation or responsibility, say no, I don't put in a gutter. Everybody knows say I need to keep me dirty, blame me, also rain can go turn on a gutter. Even if you go down, it will go block other person. Or it goes if I itself get massive implication on the marine ecosystem. You don't think about the blessing we will get na Salo, na future specifically, na the topography. Because hilly. Rain can no matter the amount of milliliter of rainfall. After 1 hour, it don't receive the drain into the sea. We want to flat grow. Go to places like Liberia. Go to places like Gambia. When then they flood, Pakistan, Nigeria, na the east and the south. Now weeks, the water they no send they go. People in the house they inundate time for weeks before it recedes.
Right.
So we the people them get an obligation. We need for complement government effort. Government no go for the every side at any time. And one thing people they can pay for realize now that bad way you do to yourself and your community. If disaster happen, free justice can endemic go can they and can because it's part of the mandate. No, the humanitarian phase for Louis respond when incident happen. But that thing only happen if your life come out.
All right.
If you die, government nobody know for replace your life. So that make the obligation is on you.
All right. So we also we get Mr. Abbas Kamara, when are the disaster risk officer, now the Freetown City Council, and himself been done directly involved inside communities disaster awareness them and in managing the city in preparedness plans them during the rainy season. Himself, I want to tell family them I don't like tell we small thing what the work they do.
Okay, family them I do. I'm really happy for the radio land, television land, and in the intro, Unadena Makeni, Kenema, of course, Freetown. In the intro, I'm the disaster risk officer for the Freetown City Council.
Okay.
And Freetown City Council, a government at sub-national level. You get the national government, they get the local government. So local government, like any other council, Freetown City Council, they work under that remit. And within the municipality. With geographical boundaries, it starts from Urugu, New Road, that bridge, Tego Grafting, it come inside. We stop na Levuma, na the far west.
Okay.
Okay. Then we did just after Chotra, there is a junction there. So within that area and then na the Freetown municipality. Beyond the areas and na the Western area rural district. So of course, as a mandate, we serve an institution of government. An institution of government like NDMA, created by an Act of Parliament. The Act of Parliament start 2004, but then we revisit them and we'll get a new Act of Parliament of 2022.
Okay.
So that gives you the mandate. And we mandate that provide services for Freetonians. Yeah. Within the institution, we get to mayor, I worship Iwana Kisoya, and we get to chief administrator, one of the professional head, when I Ramanton farmer. So basically, we provide services from Freetonians. And one of the key services we look at na sanitation.
Okay.
Yeah, public health and sanitation. The key. Yeah, although we get other mandates or other activities that we do, but looking at the discussion today, it hinges on that. And under that department, you get the Department of Disaster Risks and Reduction, we me the lead. So basically, me at the forefront, me at the lead in terms of addressing, responding to disaster. Like my colleague they say from NDMA, no one institution no going for address disaster. No one institution. Alexa, if you get the capacity, you get the money, you get the skill, everything. You get the office space, equipment, you cannot do it alone unless you get for collaborate with other institutions. So in that line, we collaborate a lot with NDMA.
Sure.
In fact, early warning systems, something happy under is either go call, we share information. We share, sometimes the manpower not will be enough, but we for complement each other and work with other service providers and NGOs for address disaster there. But today, I think the discussion centered on how prepared are we, looking at the torrential rain we they get. I just have to lay some statistics. Last year, 2024,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
we get 106 millimeters of rain per day from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So you can imagine 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And also, climatic condition changes. Today we get 7 days rain. Will be small. Then they can 1 week. But now no 7 days rain. In fact, now 1 month rain.
Yeah,
We
last
dey get
year,
now.
July.
Yes, 1 month rain non-stop. Yeah, for PEP to pay rip 24/7. So you can imagine the volume of water. The volume of water. My colleague here, when I expert, he don't look at the topography of Freetown.
All the good on
All the good on. Freetown is being sandwiched in the middle, Saudi, very tight.
Okay.
The sea, you go to the sea? No. And the hills. Now what did happen? We are going to the hills.
Yes.
We are moving to the hills. Huh? And also we are moving to the sea. If you go to Krubi, you go to Mabela, you go to Susan's Bay, you go to Mowaf, you go Kokul Bay, you go Coletown, you go Kanike, you go Ferry. Those communities where they closer to the sea, if they find out for say people are moving to the sea. How do they do that? Then they bank. And that brings a lot of consequences. Yeah. So, like I say in the intro, we get a stake. Like how NDMA get a stake. Because we serve our government. NDMA, they go right across the country. The mandate go right across in the country. We all mandate the 4 walls of the city. The 3 walls of the city where I just don't give you. Now they will mandate for. So, but however, we will work a lot in collaboration because we cannot be everywhere at the same time. With disaster they can. Of course, you talk about man-made disaster. Neither and Bog fritter right now. And obviously changes in weather pattern. They don't cut trees them. Climate change. First thing, I remember I did Frabi College. Frabi College was green. Eh?
It still is.
It's not green. My brother, it's not green.
It has been reduced drastically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beer. We got what you call that botanical garden.
Exactly.
Go botanical garden.
They don't billows there.
They don't billows all over. It is not green anymore. Maybe because that the rain season we don't begin for small grass. But as the rain season the door, they go to the peak of the dries, it don't become brown and bare. And that dirty day, now in the candle.
Okay.
The beer soil. Now in the kind of color silt. And they're going to drainages. Yeah. The other issues we go discuss about behavioral pattern. My colleague touched on that day. Taking dirty, it will not gutter. He thinks saying a government he they do, yeah, or other people there. No, what disaster they struck. They don't know boundaries. They don't know age. They don't know people. If they come back, they see the fight against you. So basically, we serve them in disaster management, and one of the key things that we do now in season, now flooding. We do mitigation, response, recovery, work with the wider community, work with the institutions, especially NDMA, would also get that mandate, broader mandates, and other CSUs and organizations.
Mr. Abbas Kamara, you mentioned just now say in part of our strategy the more we use mitigation as a key factor. What is the FCC responsibility primarily when it comes to the drainage systems them, yeah, and how then they use them for prevent disaster risks them in
okay,
communities?
Thank you very much. Would you look at mandates? Yeah, you get several government institutions where they get specific mandates created by an act of parliament. So if you look at the mandate of SLRA, I'm not an expert, maybe, but small what I know, and then they in charge of roads. And when you do road, the drainage system, everything, now their own mandates. For now, get good roads, if road and bog, they make them, if pothole day, they make them like what they do, I think Bomekisi. If you watch, now they do that road, that pavement, you understand? And road, you get the drainage system, now part of the road infrastructure. So then get that mandate. Goma Valley, now water, no so. But however, Freetown City Council not get the mandate, or NDME, not get the mandate for do road. But however, where problem can, we need for compliments. Yeah, we need for, because we're all there at the city, we need for work with we all for us see how best way for manage those drainage, because when it gets inundation of water or rain, we heavy rain come, but the drainages that they full up. You understand why? Blockages, maybe they're small. I talk about people that don't cut sticks, that silt, that red dirty. Yeah, I don't work in flood mitigation. Now the third year this. I they expect if I they clean the drainage, I they expect for see sand. But with the clean drainage, they see red dirty, a red one. So that tells you that dirty they come out somewhere. And if you look at the mountain, people they don't cut the ticks. Yeah, and also I don't talk about already the car. Dirty box inside the drainage. The amount of household garbage, cassava leaf, chair, how they call it, foam mattress, call it, be colleague who
Sure,
serve you.
sure.
Where they can at the streets, go Kisi Road. They don't clean Kisi Road. If heavy rain come, go the back, let's see what's in the come from up. How people they tweet and dirty.
Mr. Abasta,
Yes.
Oludele, I come with Mr. Back quick insight from the National Disaster Management Agency, and this is not something I want to let you answer, and then I'll come back to him. You mentioned basically say we get man-made and then we get natural disasters. Then, what percentage you go attribute to man-made factors, them, especially how we the dirty inside we got us them, and how much percentage of this actually they lead to the disasters and what would they say like flooding in our community? Whose percentage you go get?
Natural disasters all over the world, we look at now disasters and we say no matter how you prepare for it, they happen.
Okay.
No matter the preparation, the preparedness level, the only thing when they prepare for let the impact minimized.
Volcanic eruptions and so.
I find in India in 1994, for example, now they make India develop one of the best early warning. So they invest heavily in early warning system. In Sierra Leone, like I tell you, more than 90% of the incidents will happen. In fact, yeah, say right now, say the disaster. In fact, like the major one that we don't get, we are feel say major. Now this small slide, and that most likely there are reports where people do an assessment about the encroachment of that protected area, that that sugar loaf.
Yeah.
Mount Sugarloaf, about how people encroach into a protected area in that peninsula.
So, Mr. Ba, you feel say as a result of human actions, the inside Freetown they make with disasters, them they come more and more?
Yes, because if you look at the data, most of the disasters are already record.
Yeah.
Fire incident. If we go into one, for example, now if I tell you out of your assessment, what now some of the factors were responsible for fire, you will not see in a man-made.
Sure.
Negligence, some are deliberate. Because of the way they relate. If you go to flooding, flooding, even the car, you will not go before stop praying for car. But if people they stop for building waterways, and people they left for trade and dirty and gutter, at least the water get road for pass. The problem is like look like what's happened na America, for example, quite recently.
Yeah.
With all the superiority in terms of technology for determining early warning.
Yeah.
Prepare and respond. Then they humble the city into an untold devastation.
Yeah.
You understand? More than 100 people and die. With everything where you feel safe, of course, the United States. So this is a type of thing you see, no matter what we do, we don't even for stop rain for car. We push for now to the Ministry of Planning for them to expand the scope of that office where they issue building permit. For include NDMA, where we would possibly for do an impact assessment, Shalom Institution of Engineers for monitor and ensure say that particular building design, where they the building permit and in the put in house, and we get somebody from the geoscientists where they will go geologists, they go test the soil for say no 3-story building no go before the soil. Because the soil no before. Would they can push that? Because again, we don't get mandates where they give building permits.
So then they come now to a question where they post on too. From our explanations them, you been on the we don't they come out with the theory say man-made disasters them are the more frequent inside Freetown. And then we also wanna give examples them man in the bill, also on top waterways them, and then with the dump you mentioned say where they clean gutter, you know for the see red dots inside it. So it shows that over and again, Freetown citizens them actually they contribute to the problems that we will get. But when I also don't bring out the fact say negligence there on the part of institutions them for where they supposed for actually perform oversight and them thing them in actually carrying out them duties them. We they see residents then they build on top them drainage them we know they talk and we they see them they dump garbage inside against them and then without any repercussion. So jointly, waiting FCC and MDMA they do about this?
Okay, that's a
this
good,
negligence now.
okay, that's a good question. Yeah, very, very good question. I just have to break this analogy. We get malaria, your body they warm also.
Yes.
And most often, we body warm, we they treat the warm body. You understand? We they forget about the cultural factor. What lead to your body for warm? You forget about that. Your body in one now different things then they happen. Now that they make your body do warm. So for example, if you get some food or you need a hug. See, for those some side, your body they react, it warm. Yeah. But that body warm man a reason.
Okay.
So most of like I say, they treat the body warm, will take Panadol.
Okay.
We'll forget about what he make the body warm. So for me, I think we need to go beyond that.
Okay.
Looking at the causal factors. Yeah. And that's bringing policy. The establishment of local councils, Sierra Leone, a edge within the decentralization process. The national government not going for the old side. Yeah, local council are closer to the people, are closer to the communities. If something happened today, Nakrubi, as I tell you so now, by a second, I didn't know what it don't happen there. Why? Because we are closer. We'll get the councillors where they did at the communities. They are staying there. We'll get the tribal headsmen there. We'll get the stakeholders where they did. We'll go for terrorists. Say, hey, build it up for there today. Fire don't happen. Yeah. You understand? Hey, yeah, don't flood. Even if somebody died because of some unknown something, that they inform we. So we'll get that closeness to the community. So one of the things so they look at how government go enhance, maybe strengthen the decentralization process.
Okay.
Yeah. And oversee them they try, but certain things them the national government hold up. They get for send them down. Yeah. So if they send them down, that comes in, then build a permit to me colleague to talk about. We know the community. Now people are building everywhere. In fact, then swamp there, if you go na although not to your area, if you go na grafting, closer to grafting. In how many fields this year don't they the way they don't make this road? Try they na 1 or 2. In how many fields this year don't they? On top of my head, it don't pass 10. And all of those field stations, most of them, then now the swamp there. You understand? So the issue relates to building permits. Look, me colleague talk about that. Lord, we enforce that. Lord, bring expert knowledge. The city council going for help in that because we are closer. You understand? Going for monitor, bring in other players there. That's now one. Then secondly, in terms of flood mitigation, as I talk to you now, we do on flood mitigation exercises. Yeah, it started before the rains. We did an assessment of potential flood-prone areas. Okay. What do they express? What do they see in Freetown? My colleague talk about other countries, but now flood. It could take 1 week, 2 weeks, but we better. We are mostly flash flood. Now only maybe now the provinces there you go see flooding itself. You understand? It will affect crops, agricultural investment. But yeah, mostly we have rain come. You go see maybe after 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, if the rain cut, you go see the water don't recede. You understand? So we did an assessment of flood-prone areas with the communities, because they know their communities. So we have a list over the years. We don't share information with NDMA. Say, if rain comes, Samba gutter from Yanda, say where the road across Padeba Road, it goes Dundas Street, then William Street, Brook Street, Sheikha Stephen Street, it enter Krubi. The potential for a flood is high. So they do mitigation things there with the community. So map them and we don't start for clear them gutters there. We also look at commercial viable areas. Which are those areas? Sani Abacha. Orinka, Sani Abacha, the flood. Again, the construction of the road, not to engineer. Yeah, I know how to go into that realm. But construction of the road, quarter than small. But again, if you go there, then market too much, not really they put on tea. So we don't begin for do some cleaning for the seal some of them things there. So by and large, you understand, as a council, I think we did try, but there is much other things to be done. You understand, at that higher level, we can try. But if we get the cooperation with everybody, with the people there, enforcement, everything, it will help. I don't know if I go for Brinker, we'll get a new project to initiate, Dotty Moscow.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a linkage between what they talk about dirty. So a person not get outside the train dirty, will ring come and the gutter the trail. You understand? So we get what you call dirty must go. Under that day, we get the flood mitigation over the handle. What that dirty must go? Dirty for go, now carry word, let go. We now for here. So we don't divide the city into 8 blocks. 8, starting from that Urugu I tell you about Tego, Levuma, and Chotrams. So we get service provided there. In fact, they don't do close more than 3,000 registration, online registration. So they go to you, yes, you want. If I forget better electricity, medical health, we say they can fritter. So fritter is overcrowded. So unless we try for maybe make other services, people then in other district there, so that they go there, they get all of those services. So that urban migration, the people that they don't kind of fritter, the city don't compact. Or just the near we say from now. The city don't compact. Or just the near we say from now. You understand? Na near no more now. You understand? And where we don't compact, the services are few. You understand? It gets toll on the infrastructure, the buildings, everything, waterways, all of those things. So basically, those are the things that we do. And but again, we need to look at that policy. When brother they talk about, okay. We say NDMA for be part of, like them building stuff, that committee or whatever. So those are areas for more discussions.
All right. So when we come to Mr. Ba, you go able to give me a sense of the economic and human cost them flooding actually they get on the country.
Then they go very difficult. It go very difficult because globally now, like even the last COP, we them organize every year they get a conference of parties where they go discuss about what's in the world for do for deal with climate change.
Exactly.
And they look at how smaller countries where they contribute less to climate change, but then they're not receiving end of the impact of climate change. And one key thing we come out of the damage and loss assessment, and they didn't focus. So I will tell you for the fact that we don't get the expertise. For example, like we host there so don't born. The expertise for can determine the cost of the what's happening and you able to put into an amount you quantify. We don't get the expertise. So that data is not available. That's just the honest truth. That data is not available for lay we for put into an amount. Once in a while, one time, even in figures and like the last race course incident, you understand? And we asked the 6-7 people who have been get and then give you an estimation, of like putting them feel say everything will be there and they shop them. So we able to put something together, but not so like for every incident where they will go. So on the side of NDMA, like my brother say, during the rains, NDMA and Future City Council will not get the expertise, for example, for determining the kind of rain we expect. We get the Sierra Leone Meteorological Agency.
Sure. Yeah.
Every year they release what they call a seasonal forecast. And that seasonal forecast now in the able for guide. They tell institutions and now we get mandate now, for example, they can even give climatology, they can even give forecast for farmers within specific regions or districts. They can even give forecast for cattle rearers. If you sand they come out too much and you get forget impact on farmers. So that then they give forecast for rain. You understand? So like the forecast what they tell you about a holistic forecast, but we can look at what's in relate to endemic. Say for example for the rain. This year I don't tell you we go for experience rain. So what we always do? We get with flood mitigation. So we don't start goal support quite recently. We don't clear na Kokubi water Pademba Road axis. We don't that street Pademba Road axis. We don't clear that particular drainage there. We don't do community engagement.
So then on a level of preparedness right now you can show it.
Yes, now NDMA is currently implementing that.
Before now, and then in disasters and William how much it cost the country now?
So at the candy.
But I'll just continue with the
so at the country the cost.
Okay.
In fact, if Future City Council will tell you, for example, what's in the use in response. Like NDMA, so we always tell people and say, if I'm for leave and left for do them bad here, because the money that we government is spent for respond. It's so huge that government, if we're able to avoid them, and most of them are avoidable thing there. And then may they respond, or because it's part of the mandate, they respond, and it's huge. And when we don't go do assessment, we they send the assessment data to government. Now government they provide the items for they will go respond.
Okay.
So I might not be able to give you holistic now say, for example, from 2020 to date, now this amount we don't spend in terms of response. But I will say it is huge.
Okay.
Okay.
It's very, very huge.
Yeah, yeah. Just in addition to that, maybe looking at you look at data in terms of that the loss. As you rightly put them, for let get holistic, more like top-notch data, it will be challenged because we now forget information will not stand the test of time.
Okay.
You understand? So let me just give you an example. We 2024 in July. I don't forget the dates. In July, Sani Abacha. You know Sani Abacha.
Sure.
Now the more like the bread baskets of the country. If you can't free time, you know, pass Sani Abacha, you know. And look at Sani Abacha. So you look at the livelihood of those people that they can do every day. You understand? And if we rain come at that particular time, nobody know the cylinder.
Exactly.
Nobody. And let's say you want for you know common I host Africa. So if you quantify that in terms of financial losses, that's huge.
Yeah.
Very, very huge.
The revenue with the state.
Wait, you understand? But if I go self behind the court, I remember me when they come on that rain. Say, oh, you go? Nah, yes, that's a sign for I must go. So for quantify that losses, huge, and I think we need for go green. That's one whole unit for that. The mangroves. Right now, look the mangroves. They don't cut down. They all for wood. So
that's one policy we be able to recommend to the country.
Yes.
Not to just the
yes. We need for we got policies. I'm telling you, my brother. We get so many policies.
So how come the implementation?
We are not implementing those policies.
Oh,
those the implementation are in the countries who don't read the internet, but good things who don't learn. Whether it's a disconnect between having a policy and implementing those policies, and it takes money, human resource capacity, the goodwill, even the political will for implement across we safe for implement those policies. Yeah, okay.
So if quickly, if we go advise parliament or the president or any government or any governmental institution, whether in a position right now for make laws them or implement policies them, what's not the policy reform?
I don't know if you know, so the problems are fundamental. So in terms of policies, like what we do, issues in the emerge, then the shape we thought processes in terms of formulating policies for addressing specific issues. Right now, we can develop think now for continue for look at this building color because it's now we don't identify, we don't map them as a hazard now. Of land, what they call future city council, all jointly they go and say then they will jointly do intervention. Property, you understand? So we they continue for talk to the public, to people them do ya, lay we all collectively. Before future city council the car, take small care. Who say for leave? Now make that say how they go respond. If you say who say you know for day, we don't easy. Now rest now the you tell the children say this person they not for Billy again. But we'll take good the 6 months.
So yes, Mr. Abbas, waiting a short-term action them where you feel say your institution will able to commit to within the next 6 months for protect flood-prone areas.
Okay.
Policy recommendations.
Okay, policy recommendation. I think we need collaboration at the higher level.
Okay.
I make an assertion. Jesus say we have laws. Looking at the changes dynamism, things that they change. Okay, changing some of them things, but we have laws. But how far operationalize those laws? Yeah, then there should be that political will. We'll get a forum. I think was it last week?
Yeah, sure.
We'll go meet
Yeah,
at the highest level.
Highest
I
level.
think the vice president,
Yeah,
the chair, the platform.
The platform on disaster risk
disaster.
reduction.
So highest political level. So we said the vice president, the chair, that na top notch, highest level.
Highest level.
And then they go discuss at the same table. Yeah. We discuss disaster across. Flooding now, building collapse, diesel, everything. So I think we need for strengthening that collapse. You understand? Ministry of Land, they get a role for play. I think I mentioned that. The decentralization process, something they wouldn't forget. As future city council or local councils, I think will not get it on paper. Would they still push like that building permit code everything? We know the community. We aim for work with other players across the board, using social media like what they do, so using the radio, traditional medium of communication, theater for development, open spaces. Then communities are way prone to disaster. You talk about their structures the way they work. We say work with them. If there are community disaster management committees, then they are people. Yeah, these are community people. So we need for using the traditional leaders, using the religious leaders. Sierra Leone a religious tolerant community country. Me and you today are going to church. And over say Friday, Muslim, then they go to mosques. Where the imam or the pastor or the reverend or the bishop tinap they preach. As he say, hey, maybe link disaster. Look at the Quran, look at the Bible. They get link them to those verses. Then they people that going for listen and people that going for take measures there for address those things. So we need for reach out. Also we need for do behavioral change. As I talk to you, need just team to go. Yeah, that's what we don't get. We get one old bad. We provide for you alternate service, not to eat in a street. Because sometimes they say, well, we'll not get company, we'll not get service provider. Now then kush bobode no more. You know then kush bobode, we see they take inside bag as they turn. So I tell that now behind you window. You don't pay them more. You window. And then they lever. Then go. So again, we will look into those discussions, we'll get competent authority for can break down into lesser something. But with the try and in terms of flood mitigation, as I tell you, 2 weeks of flood mitigation, we get support from RMFA, the support we. Like I say, traditionally, now the SLRA need for do then road something. But again, as city, we need for complement the government here. We know we don't know more because you know, na NDMA business, not NDMA business. So now we all, when the trouble come, now we all in the meet. So now we make with the support, with the help, complement, with a gap there, with itself. We get like Irish aid. They also don't come in very although a capital intensive in whatever they talk about front end loader for rent between 20 gram per day. You understand it? Then big truck there. You understand? Because when they take dirty in the streets, you need big truck way for accommodate that dirty. It's huge money. We need then youths there because we use youths at the community. That link up 2 years back, now that the flood, the law go clean it. So they use youths there or they get a small incentive. So those are the things so they do. But again, we need for look at going green. Not plant trees there. This climate. Exactly. Yeah, if we not plant trees, it go bad. Other countries, but if you see trees there, fine. You go sit down with the sun don't warm, you go cool off. But yeah, we don't cut everything for firewood, for build. Outside with the bill. You understand eh? Outside. Up the air with the bill. Down the road, now the sea with the bill. Outside with the bill. But not so. I think for say we need for work together as institutions, all come together. So with disaster strike. You know, go look at NDMA, you know, go look at Freetown City Council.
Easy, not to just natural events, and I think then we they get economic emergencies them, we they bring government challenges them, and we also they pose public health disaster risks them. So solving them requires not just sitting and saying let we do them, but it actually they like what we do from them now. You get for take planning, you get for take leadership, you get for take accountability, and you get for take the political will. Like waiting the disaster risk office have been mentioned for let we act. Tonight we not just hear the problem them, we also hear waiting we need for do for deal with them problem. Yeah. The question now we they left with family them now, will we? So before we they go, we they play a vox pop for una, we with not even with the left una with in fact, where they show the things them way people them been say on waiting and think of this particular issue here on the ground. So till next week, may we bring the program to una, may own him na Bimba Kamara.
Pass will lock the shop. I'm not get a chance for Pass will lock the shop first. Say the importer from the shop. Back home. At time they attack a crisis, they affect you. Pass will say all the system job. After the game, whip back fresh. So they attack a country, go inside the compound, and all is cinnamon.
We can add a dua or two. Who knows? That might be the time. They are already accepted. Now the beginning share, they are good for the beginning.